What's up, y'all? Today I'm basically finna be getting into how there's a whole bunch of plastic in the human blood. So let's get into it. And I'm gonna be breaking down how it got there and why it's there. So let's get into it.
From politics, let's move to plastic. For the first time ever, microplastics have been found in human blood. Blood samples from 22 healthy adults were studied, and plastic was found in 17 of them. The microplastics were likely from water bottles, carry bags, and food containers. How did they end up in the bloodstream? What are the chances that there are microplastics in your blood too? And should you be concerned about this? Take a look at our next report.
Arctic snow, shellfish, table salt, drinking water, beer, Antarctic ice, and womb. These are just some of the places where microplastics have been found. Scientists have found tiny bits of plastic everywhere they have searched.
Microplastics are pieces smaller than 5 millimeters. Some of them are used in cosmetics or toothpaste, but most result from floating waste that is constantly exposed to UV radiation and crumbles into smaller and smaller pieces. 51 trillion such particles float in the ocean, where they are even more easily swallowed by all kinds of marine life. This has raised concerns among scientists, especially about health risks from the chemicals that are added to plastic. BPA, for example, makes plastic bottles transparent, but there's also evidence that it interferes with our hormonal system. DEHP makes plastics more flexible, but may cause cancer. It would be pretty bad if microplastics are toxic, because they travel up the food chain. Zooplankton eat microplastic. Small fish eat zooplankton. So do oysters, crabs, and predatory fish. And they all land on our plate. Microplastics have been found in honey, in sea salt, in beer, in tap water, and in the household dust around us. 8 out of 10 babies and nearly all adults have measurable amounts of phthalates, a common plastic additive, in their bodies. And 93% of people have BPA in their urine. There is little science about this so far, and right now it's inconclusive. We need a lot more research before panic is justified. But it is safe to say that a lot of stuff happened that we didn't plan for. And we have...
For you, human beings have produced over 18 trillion pounds of plastics since wide-scale production began back in the 1950s. And some research shows the average person ingests enough microscopic pieces of plastic to make a brand new credit card every week. But experts weren't sure if that plastic was making its way into our bloodstreams until now. And correspondent Nancy Liu is live for us at Redondo Beach. So, Nancy, what else is this new study revealing?
Well, Nicole, that we definitely need many more studies. Plastic pollution of our oceans, it's been a problem for decades, and evidence of microplastics in all kinds of animal species is well documented. But now comes proof that it is also in our bloodstreams.
White ones, we've got clear ones.
Tons of microplastics wash ashore all over the world every day. And now for the first time, scientists in the Netherlands have detected microplastic pollution in human blood.
All the microplastics and nanoplastics we are exposed to, we inhale and we ingest, that actually, there's so much plastic that it can even enter our bloodstream.
The Dutch study on blood samples from healthy adults detected tiny plastic particles in 80% of people, and tracing plastic type revealed the likely sources were drink bottles, food packaging, and plastic bags. The breakthrough findings clearly warrant more study.
It doesn't tell us too much about the risks yet. And we still have to understand where these particles, what happens to these particles in our body, and do they travel to certain organs? Do they accumulate there? Are they eliminated via the bile or the kidney?
Exposure to plastic is pretty much unavoidable. Previous studies have detected microplastics in human placentas and stool samples. Presence in blood has long been suspected.
I can't say that I'm surprised, because microplastics are everywhere. It's in plastic water bottles that we drink water from. It's in beer, it's in honey, it's in the air we breathe, it's in the fish we eat.
Judith Enck is a former regional director for the EPA who notes that plastic is cheap for manufacturers. With a problem decades in the making, reduction in exposure won't happen quickly.
It's not something that we can fix straight away or in a couple of years. It's something we have to deal with in the coming decades.
We just have to stop using so much of it, particularly for our food. And by all means, never put plastic in the microwave with your food, and don't even run it through the dishwasher, because there are concerns about the chemicals, the additives leaching directly into the food.